Tonight we're going underground. No sparkles, no nonsense. Just 7 vampire films that actually feel dangerous. Last time we covered the heavy hitters. This time we're going a little deeper into the coffin. These are vampire films that twist the rules, blur the lines, and remind you this genre still has fangs. Some are brutal, some are quiet. All of them understand fear. Let's start with the one that feels like being dragged through hell on a bad trip.
You know what's wrong. You don't give it up. You can't. Forever.
Bliss is what happens when a creative block turns into a blood-soaked blackout. We follow a struggling painter who'd do anything to finish her next masterpiece. Drugs, parties, more drugs, and then something else. The film doesn't care about vampire lore in the traditional sense. There's no elegant monsters, no rules carefully explained. Instead, it throws you into a neon-drenched spiral of addiction, violence, and transformation, where reality and hallucination bleed together. The camera work is sweaty and aggressive, the sound design is loud and relentless, and it all feels like one long panic attack you can't wake up from. As her inspiration grows, so does her hunger, and by the time you realize what she's becoming, you're already too deep in. If you ever wanted a vampire story that feels less like Dracula and more like a death metal album cover come to life, Bliss is waiting for you.
There's no one out at this time.
Not here.
Not anywhere.
No, that's not true.
Listen, that's not happening. Do you have any idea what we do to get that blood? Tomorrow you go out again.
Would you like to play a game?
Wait!
If Bliss is loud, this one is a quiet suffocation. My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To is a family drama disguised as a vampire story, and that's exactly what makes it hurt. A brother and sister are taking care of their chronically ill younger sibling. He can't go outside, he can't live a normal life, and he can't survive unless he drinks blood. That means someone has to go out at night and bring it back, over and over, no matter what it takes. The horror here isn't about jump scares or elaborate kills. It's about obligation and guilt. You watch this family slowly rot from the inside as love turns into duty and duty turns into something more dark. Every decision they make feels understandable but unforgivable at the same time. This one moves slowly, but that's the point. It seeps into you. If you like your horror emotional, bleak, and uncomfortably human, this will stick with you a long time after the credits roll.
I feel fine. I am a danger to everyone around me.
Afflicted is one of the rare found footage horror movies that actually uses the format to make the story better. It starts like a travel vlog. 2 best friends backpacking across Europe, documenting everything before one of them gets too sick to keep living this kind of lifestyle. Then he gets better, stronger, faster. He can see in the dark, he can do things no human should be able to do, and at first it feels like a miracle, and the camera captures that rush of pure excitement. But that excitement curdles quickly once the side effects start. You see every stage of the transformation up close. The confusion, the fear, the loss of control. The body horror feels intimate because it's all happening in first person. And then the hunger hits. And you realize this isn't a power fantasy. It's a curse playing on the screen right in front of you. By the end, Afflicted has turned from a fun travel diary into a tragedy you can't look away from. If you thought the found footage well was dry, this one proves there's still blood left in it.
Scariest.
A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night is often called the Iranian vampire western, and somehow that still doesn't fully capture what this movie is doing. It's shot in stark black and white and set in a decaying oil town full of lonely people, bad men, and quiet desperation. And in the middle of all that is a girl in the chador who drifts through the night streets on a skateboard, watching, waiting, and choosing. She doesn't speak much. She doesn't have to. Every man who underestimates her ends up regretting it. Some of them permanently. This isn't about big scares or elaborate mythology. It's all mood and atmosphere. Long shadows, strange music, and a slow hypnotic rhythm that feels kind of like a dream that you're not entirely sure you want to wake up from. It's a feminist vigilante story and a love story and kind of a vampire story all at the same time. Now, it might not be for everyone. It's pretty artsy and all of that. But anyway, if you think you've seen every possible twist on a vampire myth, you probably haven't seen this one. All right, a quick pause before we hit the final 3 on this list. If you're still here, you are clearly into the darker side of vampire horror. Hit subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Now let's get to the bleakest one on the list.
Have you been hurting any animals?
Maybe thinking, but I don't do it. Not anymore.
Wow, you're really into,
Vampires?
I was gonna say scary movies.
Some vampire films are about monsters. The Transfiguration is about a boy who might be using the idea of monsters to survive his own life. We follow a young kid in a rough New York neighborhood who is obsessed with vampires. He watches every movie he can find, kind of like all of you. He keeps a notebook full of rules and corrections and what's realistic and what's fake, and how a real vampire would behave. On the surface, it looks like fandom. Underneath, it's something much more disturbing. Now, he meets a girl, another lost kid trying to escape her own situation, and for a while you think maybe they'll save each other. But the movie keeps nudging you back to that ugly question. Is he actually something supernatural, or just a damaged, lonely child using the vampire myth as an excuse for the violence he's pretty much become capable of? The Transfiguration is slow burn and grounded, full of small, uncomfortable moments instead of big sets. If you liked Let the Right One In, but want something even harsher and more stripped down, this one is definitely for you.
Older than God? The earth has its own secrets. And if you get close enough, you'll hear it.
I saw something weird.
Whose foot's that?
Off this, I'm out!
You shite!
Oh, come on, what are we supposed to do about this?
Boys from Country Hell is what happens when folk horror stumbles out of the grave and into a small Irish town that's absolutely not ready for it. A road crew is hired to tear up land that includes a local landmark, a pile of stones that's said to be the grave of an ancient creature tied to one of the earliest vampire legends. Everyone treats it like a joke, a tourist story to entertain bored visitors. But when they knock it down, the joke's over. What follows is a mix of gallows humor, messy practical gore, and that particular kind of small-town frustration where everyone knows each other's business, even as something old and hungry starts picking them off. The film has fun with the mythology, but it never really lets the threat feel cute or safe. If you want a vampire movie that actually lets you laugh a little bit without defanging the monster, Boys from County Hell is a strong late-night pick. Okay, we finished with an older one, but it earns its place. Before Guillermo del Toro gave us Pan's Labyrinth or The Shape of Water, he made Cronos, a strangely sad and beautifully gross take on vampirism. Instead of a bite, we get a small golden clockwork device created centuries ago by an alchemist. It promises youth and vitality to whoever uses it, and all it asks for in return is blood. Now, at first, that trade feels almost reasonable. Then the cravings grow, the body changes, and you realize this isn't salvation. It's a trap. Cronos is full of tactile, practical effects, sticky wounds, pale skin, a body that's falling apart even as it refuses to die. But underneath the horror is a very human story about aging, fear of death, and what people will do to hold on to life for just a little bit longer. It may not be as loud or as flashy as modern horror, but its influence is everywhere. If you care about where the genre has been and where it's going, you owe it to yourself to watch this one at least once. These are the 7 vampire movies that don't show up on the usual lists. No glossy remakes, no safe studio bets. Just addiction, grief, obsession, ancient curses, and the awful things we do when we're terrified of losing what we love. Tell me in the comments and drop your own underrated vampire picks. If there's enough good stuff, we'll do a part 3. And as always, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and I will see you guys next time.